In life, the pursuit of greatness often appears elusive when overshadowed by the perception of failure or inadequacy. Lesson 1. Embrace self-reflection. My friend, you know that the soul's eyes often fabricate imaginary giants casting shadows, terrifying us away from worthy paths believed beyond reach. Yet, scrutinizing these illusions plainly in the day's full light reveals mere smoke-lacking substance which wisdom and perseverance might stride through easily. Come, let us examine how to transmute self-doubt into confidence, propelling greatness. When the acidic tongue of failure's self-appointed prosecutor assails virtue, how will you respond? Each criminal thought and belief accusing you of unworthiness intends to implant shackles in your hobbling aspirations' first steps. But instead, turn witness to this inner courtroom drama. Name the characters parading as authorities. Expose the hidden motives driving their testimony. Reveal embedded assumptions framing fearful rules. Cross-examine the supposed jury by your own higher standards, object to the prosecution's whole paradigm. Imposed narratives inciting paralysis require your consent for power over identity and conduct. In place of reaction arises a realization of choice. Either suffocate under the ceilings of past sentencing or courageously author a counter-vision of possible becoming that incremental discipline and risk might realize over time. Why accept others' accounts without context, complexity, or alternative interpretation? This too is your privilege to decide. In the silent theater of mind, perpetrator, victim, and judge need not be divided people but rather divergent energies within oneself, alternatively rising to dominate the stage. Integrating these into harmonious wisdom realizes incredible liberation. Resolve now to observe inner turbulence clearly before responding. The revelation empowers responsibility in place of blame for progress. Lesson 2. Accept impermanence. Recall the wisdom of Heraclitus. No person ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and they're not the same person. Let us further reflect on the ceaseless change characterizing existence, both without and within. By embracing impermanence, we transcend limiting labels imposed in ignorance. Consider life's episodic quality. An act's curtain closes, then opens upon fresh scenes, staging new crises and characters. Both tragedy and triumph ultimately pass, their poignancy dissolving into almost forgotten tallies in history's ledgers. Yet in the moment's heat, we instinctively project immediate experience as enduring eternally, as if one's essence were not continually evolving across contexts. Foolishness. Present feelings are deceived by their convincing intensity. But probe the theater's foundations, fear and desire ever rise then dissipate according to transitory conditions. Our creative empowerment and disciplined initiative also not available each dawn, independent of emotional weather convincing otherwise. Why then allow ephemeral storms to eclipse the sun whichever shines behind all passing phenomena? Moreover, our very identity shifts kaleidoscopically across time, according to the aspects of intentions and values accentuated by life's raw potential. The loser makes a real choice, either surrendering agency or reinventing rules anew from expanded playbooks hidden within. Will you accept narrators casually sentencing your next chapters? Or boldly recognize authorship over identity, awaiting thoughts daring fresh scripting? Let this truth sink into your bones. No state endures but changes itself. Therefore breathe hope, again take courage and calmly commit to metamorphosis, aligning actions into virtues and empowering destinies beyond aged assumptions. For the mind makes each moment's meaning, including this one awaiting your beliefs to direct becoming. Lesson 3. Focus on virtue. My friend, rather than chasing superficial external validation such as wealth or fame, consider focusing identity like a compass upon true north, which is found in timeless virtues. The worthy man anchors daily life's decisions to such north stars as wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation against distracting cultural currents. Thereby he secures reliable moorings for impact beyond ephemeral acclaim. Shall we contemplate together the call inward toward greatness measured in character? Picture an oak enduring storms season upon season as saplings bend or break, chasing sunlight's fleeting favor. Rooted in rock, the great tree shapes the raging wind into an opportunity for further grounding tendrils, even deeper still. When surface conditions shift capriciously, similarly, they remain steady. Neither mad euphoria at praise nor despair at criticism unseat the virtuous core. Such non-attachment to validation empowered sages to transform history through inward authority rather than outward permission. Or consider history's revolutionary voices who clung to truth at society's margins, saying madness, like resilient Galileo's maligned generations before vindication. Exile from in-crowd opinion proved kilometers ahead of its backward bend. Such willingness to walk paths where few approve in order to raise the many reveals vision-deserving wings called greatness. Would you join such an elite tradition of inwardly directed souls seeking first virtue's perfection? Measure days, then not by tallied actions but by the character revealed when pressured. Allow integrity to guide goals rather than compromise the principle of achievement's appearance. Thereby earn stripes determining the worth of oneself and humanity. Proceed, future counselor. Lesson 4. Practice gratitude. I hear frustration convincing yourself that society's measuring stick mislabels loser those not reaching cultural yardsticks for validation. This belief implies things might be complete and adequate if only we possess fame, intelligence, or romance that eludes us. But fulfillment pivots profoundly from wanting to gratitude for character built through life's unique mixture of blessings and trials. Shall we affirm the sufficiency of one's intricate path just as it stands? An attitude of gratitude blossoms by actively appreciating the practical gifts surrounding us needed for basic thriving, shelter, nourishment, clan, and health. Begin consciously recognizing the miraculous privilege simply embodied without merit and the breath flowing in and out tirelessly. How quickly do we ignore this mystery's ceaseless sustainment while chasing superficial wants sold as essential? When we remember such grace, faith enlarges in the fundamental goodness of being and becoming. Further, the trying and mundane continually hone wisdom and resilience through experiential learning if we adjust perspective. Might the very feelings of inadequacy prepare soil for future blooming identity and strength that eases complacency often erodes? As coal's essence under crushing pressure becomes diamond, perhaps life's common carbon receives rare transmutation into hidden pearls through irritation's friction revealing our luster. Finally, behind circumstantial loss stands a call to recognize relationships as life's meaning, more than pursuits framed as actualizing identity. What present connections deserve gratitude for shaping us through empathy-expanding trials? Who may need us as listeners to their wellspring of wisdom gained from living? There in true wealth dwells an awakened state of radical gratitude for walking each intricate path prepared uniquely for purpose. We have enough. Now offer it. Lesson 5. Take responsibility. We alone write the story, framing life's inevitable mixture of fortune and misfortune into victory or defeat by either blaming external factors as the sole cause or courageously accepting responsibility to improve what lies workably near. Let us further discuss transmuting hardship into opportunity for growth by shifting from reactive to response-able mindsets. The seat of judgment sits within. Surely situations arise imposing themselves unpleasantly upon us. Ill-timed sickness, tragic accidents, betrayal. Reason acknowledges a real adversary beyond control. Yet rather than collapse resignedly, we retain power over the attitude chosen towards such adversity, thereby strengthening the character emerging through struggle. My neighbor may wreck my vehicle, but should I also permit him to govern my peace inwardly? The choice persists to either resent or reinvent from the rubble. Further, reflect on relationships soured. Complete blame rarely belongs to one individual despite appearances. With maturity, we recognize the complex dance of needs, learned behaviors, and hidden wounds, each of which unconsciously jostles the partnership. The issue centers not on past innocence but on present willingness to grow self-awareness around undermining tendencies we transport ignorantly into conflict. If untouched by introspection, the next encounter often echoes previous results. Thus, view the mind itself as the primary arena displaying outside events reflected onto interior projection screens according to interpretative spins, uniquely coloring perceptions into hope or bitterness over the same phenomena. What outcomes truly hinge on fixed externals versus workable internals, ripe for responsibility and thereby revolution. Courage, creativity, and compassion bloom first here through proactive care, the garden we are called to tend. Lesson 6. Live in accordance with nature. My friend, consider the harmony displayed across nature's realms by each entity fulfilling its essential design. The silent orbiting stars always keeping assigned seasons, the noble horse effortlessly bearing its sleek power, the humble plant yielding flowering then fruit when nourished sufficiently. What wisdom might we glean by living according to such inborn teleology, rather than chasing contradictions and exhausting limited energies toward unevolved ends? Let us reflect together on our efforts, hoping to elevate our existence. Most centrally, aligning conduct with nature entails discerning reality accurately through reason's lens before determining action, while submitting feelings and reactions to thoughtful examination rather than instinct's reflexive pulse preceding reflection. Thereby, we filter vital signals from distortive noise. Consider temperance thus, right perception enabling the right response. In parallel, we must creatively adapt in resonance to surrounding conditions and available resources that set plausible parameters for endeavoring without expecting reality to bend itself to match our wants. Such acceptance teaches effective navigation through life's currents and countercurrents with resilient poise, never grasping at the exhausting capacity needed to flourish workably. Herein, courage builds wisdom. Finally, measuring days by contribution rather than consumption empowers self-trust that is non-contingent on validation from others determining our inner state. Governing oneself rather than fixating outwardly nurtures the fruitful garden found within reach, yet neglected during the chase for rainbows promising wholeness ahead. They discover genuine justice. Shall we walk a while on nature's path together, my friend? Much awaits discovery by those who remember that they already hold essential components for living well if allowed to mature according to innate design. This revolutionary wisdom transforms scarcity thinking into empowered responsibility. Lesson 7. Develop resilience. Let us further reflect that the defining quality distinguishing greatness from mediocrity centers profoundly upon developing resilience. Courage and adaptability, facing down adversity threatening to overwhelm dreams that audaciously depart the status quo's safe harbors. How we respond to the seemingly impossible determines the hero's valiance. Understand first that chasing comfort's siren song guarantees slow asphyxiation of mighty potential, for she always leads back repeatedly to the gilded cage of low expectations on the privileged side of injustice. Those choosing ease rarely challenge customs enough to uncover the latent gifts hidden in such moments. Prepare to depart the caravel should the propriety command compromise. Mark next that prosperous unfoldment appears governed by cycles of stability, disruption and integration in ascendance toward higher planes of function. Seasons of confusion must come to rebalance inertia, blinding systems to grave faults lying underground. Face breakdowns with faith. They prepare rich soil for innovations and emergence. So also face anxiety-provoking uncertainty with bold initiative, seeking previously unimagined solutions rather than reflexive despair that tries salvaging the wreckage of former familiarity now rendered obsolete. Construct chaos's doorway to birth opportunity hitherto unmanifest. This teaches holy resilience, to expect crises, adapt wisely and thereby thrive in change's quickening currents. Through the timeless way of courage and creativity, transmuting obstacles into progress, claim victory and greatness against inward enemies first, then unjust exterior worlds awaiting your revolution's ripened fruits. Resolve to live by higher codes of conduct each hour. Thereby, they remarkably transform present losses into vision's foundations. Lesson 8. Practice mindfulness. The hurried pace and tangled anxieties characterizing our age echo the inner restlessness that wisdom's generations have cultivated skills to calm into order for clarity of priority. Chiefly, let us reclaim the simple yet supreme art of intentional mindfulness. training awareness gaze steadily through focus sufficient to observe mental movements objectively rather than sway helplessly. From such vision, mastery blooms. Where attention guides, energy flows, whether scattered across competing trifles or profoundly channeled into critical response. By collecting wayward awareness into this immediate breath's rise and fall, we replant roots into stable ground that no turmoil can unseat fully. Rhythmic as the ocean's pulse, the eternal now integrates past and future into perspective and proportion. Aligned conduct follows. Further, impermanent phenomena press for reaction, as if they were permanent impositions requiring defense or control. But timelessly abiding consciousness permits welcoming all experience for integration. Trusting cycles reveal meaning often missed in immersion's blindness. Storms pass, seasons turn. Stand shoreside as watcher and conductor to life's symphony. Thus we transcend while engaging earthly realms. Rooted in inward discipline, our branching care through roles extends justice rather than continually grasping for self-bolstering trophies advertised as fullness. Quiet wonder sustains fiery purpose over ambition's anxious decades. Mindfully gaze ahead from here, expecting one. In this breath resides the eternal, never not available to perception's patient unveiling. Return again and again to such a wellspring of awareness. Lesson 9. Seek wisdom. My friend, a pivotal mindset distinguishing the exceptional individual beyond worldly acclaim involves dedication to seeking wisdom tirelessly from diverse sources, not chasing information for debate's momentary victory, but for depth of character to lead communities well. Let us further discuss committing to lifelong wonder and experiential learning. From such a postury, the future summons our best, while competitive culture prizes demonstrations of smartness aimed at adversary defeat. Servantly wisdom parks ego's performance aside in order to elevate shared understanding that dignifies parties once opposed. She diligently inquires about perspectives foreign to native assumptions, not to overpower diversity through argument, but to allow boundaries to beautifully redefine self and tribe through unforced empathy. A new sense of belonging emerges. The wise further submit their opinions continually to trial by unexpected teachers and environments. They dedicate days to studying broadly history and philosophy, containing profoundly simple insights easily escaping busy generations racing the urgent. Mindfulness thereby reveals the eternal rhythms governing passing eras. Hard lessons forge resilient metal like refined steel. With such eyes we recognize true needs veiled by wants. Importantly, those dedicated to growth reject complacency, excusing inertia to remain on paths worn yet unrewarding. They embrace disruptive change, rechanneling potential, perhaps detected in the subtle alienation whispering of uncharted callings. Heed adventure's summons. Fulfilled purpose and empowered impact await through simple next steps into undiscovered territory. Wander on until wonder and wisdom wonderfully merge. Lesson 10. Lead by example. Lasting influence widens by honorably aligning living first with elevated rhetoric after. Innumerable eyes require integrity's embodiment modeling to examine paths for mobilizing their abundant possibilities still latently awaiting catalyzation. We now explore mindsets that are foundationally key for those daring to lead across new frontiers won through service. Destiny shall confirm such selfless authority in time's fullness. The true leader voices vision forged through repeatedly refining words in the fire of personal suffering until emerging gold. Authentic from brokenness, shared with those we mean to guide ahead. Temper impatience to speak half-baked truths with courage, listening and living them fully before expecting ears to hear what track record denies. A premature harvest yields a meager crop, prudent seasoning ripens the bounty. Also govern uneasy hunger for cheering crowds or coercive power, luring recognition but eroding relationships' dignity. Strong enough to stand alone if need be, one retains approachability, welcoming other sojourners to learn along the way. The lonely night passed, and the community gathered. Fame's isolation pales against belonging flowering in season. Further, flow financial surplus and achievements into empowering those requiring help in climbing next, the young, oppressed, and voiceless, showing alternative maps for their unleashed potential. Where attention lands, resources must water opportunity. Never withhold tables, towers, and tools from those now ready to seize responsibly what good fortune provides. There is meaning. Yes, charge valiantly ahead into unwalked realms by consistently modeling and emboldening heroic virtue first in oneself, then translating it into roads where crowds may travel too. Lead all into the promised lands ever ahead. Blaze trails by living them. Who else shall actualize the highest we together dream of if not pioneers who point beyond by walking ahead? Enough waiting, now commence. These 10 Stoic lessons serve as guiding beacons, offering a roadmap to transform perceived defeat into personal triumph and greatness. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more empowering content. Together, let's continue exploring the depths of wisdom and growth.